Okay. Ta-da. Okay. So again, the torture words is just trying to take some of the mystery out of it for you today is the whole goal. So don't be afraid to ask me any questions because my goal is to help you be successful. And that's what we're all about. So, talking about it a little bit. Again, my name is Sherry, and my contact information is here for you as well. You do not have to take copious notes. I will send you my slide deck after we're all done here, so don't feel like you have to write like crazy. But my contact information is here. Feel free to email me, call me, text me anytime because I would love to answer any questions that you do have. So today I am just going to go over the process in its entirety. So I'm going to just give you the overview about it, why you should apply, the benefits of it, what the eligibility is, talk about how the judging works, and then actually putting together your application, some of the best practices that I've seen through the years, what we mean when we talk about supporting documents, and then the site visit, because the site visit can be a complete game changer. It can turn everything around. So we'll talk a little bit about all of that. So kind of an overview of everything. So the BBB's Eclipse Integrity Award started in 1994. We were one of the first BBBs in the entire BBB system to have an awards program. Soon after, several BBBs started programs and they called them the Torch Awards. And for years, they let me be grandfathered and continue to use the name Eclipse Integrity Awards because that was our brand here locally. But in 2022, they said, nope, you also have to start using the name Torch Awards. So we've always kind of modeled after the Torch Awards when they started so that people could go on to the international competition very easily. But it is a very streamlined, simple online application. It used to be in the days of old when it was the Eclipse Integrity Awards for years, it was a 2-inch 3-ring binder that you had to submit. That is not the case anymore. We're literally talking about 4 essays, some supporting documents, and an entry page. So it's not anywhere near what it used to be. And then we also have the Best Overall Award, which is called the Golden Torch Award. And I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But basically, the award really covers the 4 C's of business. So it talks about the character of your organization, the culture that your organization fosters, the customers and how you treat them and your perception with them, and also what your reputation is in the community. So that's really what the award itself covers. So there are lots of benefits to the awards. And so one is, I have all these boxes all over everything I'm trying to tell y'all, and I can't see everything. So it is a unique awards program. Where else can you be recognized for your ethics and integrity? It says a lot about your business to be able to take that kind of an award home for your organization. You'll be showcased as an ethical leader. It can also be a deciding factor for prospective employees. I know some of our past winners actually have their new employees go through and look at their entries to get a good feel for who the organization is and what it's all about. You will also be announced at a dinner that is attended by about, it's more like 400 plus companies. It's been at Sinclair College for years, but they are the community leaders that do attend. You will get a lovely award to be able to display in your workplace. The sense of pride among your employees and sense of accomplishment will be phenomenal. And the media exposure, we will plug the heck out of you. And then you also have the opportunity to plug it yourself. So you probably see the Torch Award logo on people's trucks, on their doors, on their windows. It used to be years ago, CompUNet had a big banner on their building lining I-75. So you can use it however you would like as well. Even as a finalist, you get to use the logo because there is a finalist logo that I'll share if you're named a finalist. And then there is that Best Overall Award, the Golden Torch Award. So talking about eligibility, the Torch Awards are for any business or a nonprofit that's a 501c3 or a 501c6. BBB accreditation is not a requirement. Being a charity seal holder is not a requirement if you are a charity. You do have to, as a business, have a B rating or higher. The BBB ranks businesses they rate businesses on a scale of A to F, just like in school. So we're saying you have to be among the best. So you have to have an A or a B rating to be eligible. If you are a charity, you do have to meet the BBB's charitable standards for evaluation. And if you're not sure if you do or not, you can go to give.org and pull up your BBB report to see if you do meet those standards. And if not, we can help you get to meet those standards before the actual judging begins. It's very easy to do. It adds increased, enhanced credibility to you as a nonprofit as you're looking to do fundraising in the community. You have to do business in the BBB service areas. The 7.5 counties are listed there for you. You have to be in business for at least 3 years. We're saying that you didn't just develop integrity overnight, that you've had it in place for a while. So you have to have been in business for 3 years, and you have to be meeting all of your financial obligations. Likewise, we are not one of those awards programs in towns where you can win the award year after year after year after year. There are too many great organizations in our community that we want to shine a spotlight on all those that are worthy. So if you win, you cannot compete again for 3 years, just to give others the opportunity to have that spotlight. If you're a government agency or a church, you are not eligible. You do have to disclose any major lawsuits in your entry. That's not civil suits. And we all know there are customers that from hell that you just can't make happy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about class action suits or those kinds of things that we would actually issue in your business profile with the BBB. You can't serve on the Torch Award Planning Committee, and you can't be a major sponsor, be it a principal sponsor or a Students of Integrity sponsor for the program. Any questions about eligibility at all? Okay. So talk about the judging a little bit. I don't even look at your entries, to be honest with you. The entries are reviewed by a panel of judges that are independent of BBB staff and our board of directors. So I literally look at the entry form, and that's about as far as I go. And I make sure all the pieces and parts are there. The judges will make personal visits, or we call them site visits, to the award finalists and only the finalists. Judges' decisions are final. They do have the opportunity to not issue an award in a category if they feel there is no one worthy. And that has happened in the past. They also will, once they decide who the winners are in each category, I give them a week to look over all of the category winners, and then they get together for lunch to determine who the best overall is, and that is our Golden Torch Award winner. Our community leaders, no, that's a lie. Our judges are community leaders. So you will probably recognize one or two of them when they come to do your site visit if you are named a finalist. But they are community leaders for sure. So let's talk about the criteria a little bit and how to put your application together. So the first criteria is going to be about your organization's character. And this is going to be from the viewpoint of your leadership. It can be ghost written. It doesn't have to be written by the leadership. It can certainly be ghost written, but it does have to come from their perspective because they're the leaders. They're the ones that are leading the charge in regards to the ethics and integrity of your organization. So there's a couple of things you're going to do. These essays that I'm saying that you write are not long. You don't have to write a book. Literally, I'm talking 1 to 2 pages, not long. And I would highly recommend using these 3 points as subheads as you're putting together your essays so the judges know that you have clearly answered those questions. So when you're talking about character, you're going to talk about how the leadership leads with high character and intentionally seeks feedback on how they can be even better. They're going to talk about how they empower the staff to carry out the organization's commitment. And they're going to talk about the tools, the activities, and the training that they've gone through to help them be the best that they can be. So those are the 3 questions. And again, I'd use them as subheads when I'm writing that essay for that very first essay on character. The second essay you're going to write, if my clicking will work, is going to be about your organization's culture. Again, there are 3 questions that you're going to address in that essay. You're going to talk about the culture and how you unite the team around your vision and your mission, how you empower employees to shape the expectations of your customers and your organization as a whole, and talk about how your company demonstrates its leadership's commitments to the individual's employees. So you're going to answer those 3 questions as you're putting together that essay. And you can see doing a 1 to 2 page essay and you're specifically answering 3 questions, it's pretty easy to do. And you, again, don't write a book, not at all. You don't have to do that. The third essay is going to be about your customers and how you build better relationships with them. It's going to be talking about how your employees are empowered to address customers' concerns, how they go above and beyond to exceed their expectations, which you'll probably find out some pretty cool stories as you go through this process. I hear that over and over. And talking about the commitment to honesty and making a positive difference with each customer. So those are the 3 questions that you'll answer for this essay about your customers. And then the last essay you're going to be writing is about your community and the difference that you're making in your community. So you're going to talk about the programs or events that your organization has in place to engage with the community, how your employees are encouraged to spend time in the community, because you know where they are. They're probably talking about your company, or they should be. So that's the other thing. And talking about your contributions, whether they're financial or whether they're donations that you do to help make our community a better place to live, work, play, and volunteer. So any questions about those essays? Okay. Did I lose somebody in this process?
I don't think so.
Oh, nope. Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about best practices as you're putting everything together. So important to use the words ethics and integrity when you're writing your essays. Please, 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 that's what the award is all about. The judges are always astounded when people don't use those words. That's what the award's about. Focus on your best practices. Of course, you're the bomb. That's why you're here. So don't talk about necessarily, really focus on what makes you different in the areas that you're talking about. And if you are an international company or you are a branch of a national company, focus on your local activities. That's what we're focusing on here, is your local activities. Now, if you do win the award and you go on to the national competition, then that's where you can go a little broader and talk about those things. Also, carefully select your support letters. It used to be back in the day when it was those 2-inch 3-ring binders, people would have 40 to 60 support letters in those binders. That is not necessary. Make sure you go to people who are going to make an impactful statement about the organization and what you do. Let them know what the award is that you're going for, what you want them to address, and go from there. For instance, if you go to a chamber, you're going to most likely get a form letter. I have a chamber employee that is one of my judges, and says just that. You will get a form letter. So be very intentional about who you ask for those letters of support. Put it together from your judge's mind. Make it very easy for them to understand why you're saying what you're saying. Use bold, use bullets, use spacing, use whatever you need to do to make it stand out, but make it highlighting even. Make it very clear to them what you're trying to get across. And don't start from scratch. When I talk about you having to include support documents here in a minute, don't create anything new. These are all things that are in the DNA of your business. You already have them. It's just a matter of uploading them into one place. So it is really, you don't have to go and create anything new other than those 4 essays. Any questions about any of that? Okay. So let's talk about the supporting documents a little bit. So the supporting documents are important, and I would highly suggest that you do include some. I'm always shocked when people don't, because your supporting documents are really what tell your story beyond the essay. So these are some examples of what you can include as your supporting documents. You are not required to have all of these, and you may have something even beyond these lists to include in it. But it's just to help you get some brainstorming ongoing on what we're talking about when it comes to those supporting documents. It is your mission and vision statement. You have that. Just include it, and when you upload your supporting documents, your organizational charts, your evaluation forms, your support letters that you'll get. Maybe it's including your employee benefits to talk about the culture of your organization. Those beyond the call of duties stories are always cool. And that's where you may learn some things about your business. So for instance, Rumpke won several years ago, and they tell a story that they didn't know before, where one of their drivers was on their route and there was a lady on the side of the road crying, pouring through her trash. That driver stopped and found out that that customer had lost her diamond ring in the trash. And he stopped and helped her go through the trash until they found it. And you can bet Rumpke now has a raving fan. What a cool story to include in your application. And you'll find some of those stories out as you go through the process that you may not know, because your employees are doing it because it's the right thing to do, and they're not telling anybody. But you may find out some of these very cool stories. I hear that over and over. Include copies of your employee handbook, pages that are important and are applicable to your ethics, a list of the awards and honors, the recognition that you've received. Another very cool thing you can do is a 2-minute video about your organization and its programs. You do not have to pay anyone to do that. Go take your cell phone, which they are phenomenal these days, and go take some videos of customers, board members, employees, to do a short video about your ethics and integrities within your organization. If you want to make it a little fancier, there is a great program called Animato. It's online, it is free. It's like PowerPoint for dummies with video. So you can use that to put it together. But it's a great way to be able to tell your story even further. Sorry. Nope. Some other things to include are maybe pictures of employee events that you host for your staff. You know, maybe if you have a picnic in the summer, if you go to a Dragons game, what have you. Talk about your programs and your services. Talk about your policies. If you have an ombudsman, include their job description. If you are with a nonprofit, talk about your board activities and include those things here. But these are some just examples of what you can include as supporting documents. What I would recommend is divide them up by the 4 categories, then scan them all in as one document, and then upload them as that one document into each section of your application. I wouldn't do them all separately. I would make them as one document, save yourself some time, and then upload them. But the supporting documents are really, really important. So I encourage you to include some of those. And again, you already have them. It's just uploading them into one place. So here's how you do it and go through the process. And stop me if anybody has questions. I am very informal, so don't hesitate. So you're going to go to bbb.org, and now you're going to go to the top left corner and click on the BBB location, which of course is BBB serving Dayton, Miami Valley. And then you're going to go down to Torch Awards. And this is the page that's going to come up. And as you go through that, you're going to go and you are going to click on the button that says click to enter under enter your business or charity. The nominate is the very first one. That's super easy. The public can do that. It's all they have to do is give me your name and some contact information. Now you're to the next step where you need to substantiate that nomination. So you want to click on the click to enter, and that's where you'll go. And then you're going to go through the application form. And you're going to go through here, and it's just going to go over the things that we just went over, talk about the eligibility and all that fun stuff. And then you'll start to fill out the entry form, which is the who, what, why, whens of your business. So it's very basic. One of the most important things that will ask you how many full-time employees you have. So you want to make sure that is completed. That is how we divide you into categories, is by the number of full-time employees that you have. So you'll fill out that entry form, and then you will go to each criteria section. What I would suggest is, I'm sure you're going to be already writing your essays in a Google Doc, or you're going to be writing it in Word. Then I would copy and paste it into this rectangle here for your essay part. And then after you've scanned all your supporting documents, I would click the upload button and upload your supporting documents. And I just went purple rain for some reason on the screen. I don't know why. Every once in a while, I get a little Prince in me, apparently. That's how I get it. Now, the nice thing is sometimes I know it's hard to sit and get all this done in one sitting. There is a save function. So at the bottom of each screen, you will see a save function. So if you get called away or something happens, there is a save function where you can save it and come back to it. Okay. I would really recommend that you don't do it alone. Get some help. Tim, you've already got help. You've got Meet You There. It's going to do fantastic for you. But get some help. Form a staff committee. Get staff from different parts of your organization to help provide you the information that you need. Rally volunteers. Maybe you have a board member that would love to help with the organization getting things done. Hire an intern. We are an education town. We have so many colleges around. It would be great for someone to have on their resume that they helped you put together a winning nomination. I will tell you, Andy Macy from the food bank, that's how he started. The food bank hired him as an intern 1 year. They didn't win. They were finalists. Came back and did it the second year. And now he's a full-time employee at the food bank because he knows so much about the organization. So you can consider hiring an intern. Or, the holidays are coming. Maybe you have an employee's child that's coming home. It's a great thing for them to be able to tackle and start getting ready for you as well. So any questions about anything we've talked about so far? Okay. So I kind of like to see the forest for the trees. And so I've broken it down into a schedule to help make it manageable for you all. But it's just a recommendation. You can do however you want to do it. But what I would recommend is this week and next week, go through and draft a communication from the leadership saying that you're going for this award and you're going to win. And if somebody asks you for information, they need to provide it in a timely manner. That's what Niels Winther did from Think Patented to his team. He sent out a formal email to everybody on staff and said that, hey, Chris is putting together this nomination. If she asks you for something, make sure that you provide it. And this is when she needs a buy. Put boxes in a common area or folders on your internet labeled for each of the criteria and ask people to put things in it so you don't have to go hunting and asking for it. You can just sort through what everybody's already provided you to decide what you want to include and what you don't want to include. Rally that help. Then also go through and ask for those letters of support that you want. Those great customers, those great vendors, whoever it may be. And ask your staff for those stories that staff have gone above and beyond. You'll probably learn some pretty cool things of when they have helped others that you're unaware of. Likewise, ask your staff for a list of boards or committees that they serve on, whether it's a Little League team, Sunday school, a nonprofit board, whatever it is. Because wherever they are going out and serving in your community, I'm sure they're talking about you, or they should be. I know when I sit on any board, BBB is what I'm all about. Even when it's Girl Scouts for my kids or whoever it may be, which they are long past the Girl Scout years. The other thing is then the rest of November and December, start gathering those supporting documents so that you have those all together. And then in January, write your summaries. Take 1 week, each week of January, and tackle one of those criteria. In February, have others review and offer feedback. It's sometimes helpful to have somebody outside of your organization look at it, because sometimes we get in our own jargon or we'll forget things because we're too close to it. If you would like to have a past winner look at it, Past winners are on our website. You can see who they are. Maybe you have a contact with one of them. If you would like me to put you in touch with a past winner to look over your nomination, I'm happy to do that too. Just reach out to me. But you'll review and fine tune, and then March 2nd, you'll submit it to the BBB. I would recommend giving yourself some wiggle room because technology is not always our friend. And you could enter it tomorrow if you were ready tomorrow. So go through and do that. But then once you submit it, start planning your site visit because that will come up very quickly. And you want to make sure that is very well timed out and go from there. So let's talk a little bit about site visits. Site visits will be on April 3rd. Mark your calendar now. So if anybody that you want to be there has it on their calendar, because that can fall around spring breakish. So site visits are April 3rd. And what happens is I find out who the finalists are on March 31st, and I will literally find out who they are, and I will call and say, congratulations, you've been named a finalist. The judges will be at your place on April 3rd at 2 o'clock or whatever the time is. So plan proactively for that site visit. You have 35 to 45 minutes to tell your story. Be prepared, time it out, know who's going to say what and how long they have to say it. You do not want Windy Wendy to eat up all of your 30 to 45 minutes. So, and practice it. Some of the best site visits have been practiced with a stopwatch. I know Chris at Think Patented said when they arrived, the judges arrived, she said, hi, my name's Chris, I do this, and I have 2 minutes to get you to this person. And every single place she had a stopwatch to make sure that they were able to get everything they were supposed to get while they were there. You can do it through a PowerPoint presentation, a tour, you can have key staff members talk, clients talk, however you want to do it. Just make sure that they know what they're supposed to say and how long they have to say it. I would not have one person talk the whole time. I can tell you that story that I heard from the judges is there was one site visit that they went on and the CEO talked for the whole time. Even told a story about what an employee did that was fabulous. The employee was standing right next to him. How much more effective would it have been for that employee to tell that story, right? So, and when you do that site visit, make sure you talk about ethics and integrity. Again, they're always shocked when those words aren't mentioned, okay? So site visit can be a game changer. So they go through your application and they're like, your points lead one way that you're going to be a finalist, but the site visit can flip it. So it's really important that you plan well for those site visits. It's a great opportunity to tell your story and build some relationship with some community leaders because they are often super impressed with your organizations once they leave. So the award categories, this question I'm asked a lot is, it is based on the number of full-time employees. Businesses, there are 4 categories. Nonprofits, there will be 2 to 3, depending on the number of nominations. I can't tell you where those breakdowns are. I used to preset it, that small was 1 to 3, medium was 4, but they weren't competing apples to apples. So now I wait until the nominations come in and I do the breakdown where those natural breaks are. But they will be a small, medium, large, and extra large based on full-time employees. The Golden Torch Award, I explained how that works. Once the judges tell me who the winners are in each category, then they get together and look over all of the winners in each category, gather back together for lunch, and they determine who the best overall is. And that's the Golden Torch Award. So that is also a great opportunity for you to shine as an organization. Any questions about anything?
I have 2 questions.
Please.
The support letters. I mean, obviously, I'd like to give enough, but I also don't want to be crazy overwhelming. So, what's a good number, do you think?
You know what? I can't really give you a number. It's
Okay.
whatever you feel is going to tell your story well.
Okay.
So, there's not really a minimum or a maximum. Just don't feel
Yeah.
like you have to go overboard. Make sure
Right.
that they clearly reflect your ethics and integrity, and they're not just a form letter. Does that make sense? I
Mhm.
hate to be
Yeah.
vague, but,
No, that's okay.
and
Okay,
what was
and
your
then
second question?
my second question is about how many people come to the site visit
There will
approximately?
be 2 to 3 judges that will come to your site visit.
Okay, thanks.
And when they come, don't worry about providing them refreshments, drinks, tchotchkes. None of that is needed. They really want you to use that full 30 to 45 minutes to tell your story. Not to
Mhm.
schmooze them, not any of
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Really
of
to tell
course.
your story.
Okay,
And they
thanks.
won't come asking questions. Let me iterate that. So be prepared. It is your presentation. I
Mm.
encourage them to don't talk and let you tell your story. Okay. So don't forget, nominations have to be received by March 2nd. Remember, technology is not always our friend, so keep that in mind. If you have any struggles with inputting anything, reach out to me. Because again, I really want you to be successful. But March 2nd is that date for your application. If you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am happy to help. You are not bothering me. That's what I'm here for. So please reach out. I will send you all out this. This recording will be on the Torch Award pages. You'll see it on the video button. And so you can watch it there again if you want a refresher or share it with whoever your committee is that's helping you put this all together. I will also send you out this PowerPoint presentation so you have that too. So that will be available for you. But reach out. I'm here for you. So what's next is you to go to bbb.org and scroll down to the Torch Awards and start your application. And I wish you the very best of luck. You all have great organizations, and I hope they shine fantastically and tell your story well. Any other questions
Great.
for me?
Sure, I have one question. I
Please.
know the online, I could see all the applications and things you need to fill out, but do you have like in a Word document format or something that we can see all the
You know what? I don't, but I
questions?
will put one together so that you can see it.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
That's great. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. You may not get that today or tomorrow, but I
Okay,
will get that to you shortly.
great. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Not a problem. Any other questions for me? Keith, are you good? Did you have any questions?
The only question I had, I emailed you because it's going to take a little bit of looking up.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, again, I wish you the very best of luck. We'll be besties before this is all over. Just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And we'll go from there. Good luck.
Great.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Sherry.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Uh-huh.